Hey y'all. So I'm going to talk briefly about how how the Lord, like what an encounter with the Lord looks like, a simple but so beautiful. Oh God, let me just get into it. No introduction needed. So the Lord had been placing a verse on my heart, on my spirit, and I'd seen this verse before many times, and so I didn't think much of it. It's in Exodus 14, and it's talking about the Israelites leaving Egypt and um, needing, yeah, it's the part where like Moses is gonna part the Red Sea, right? So I didn't think much of it. I'm like, yeah, I know that verse. Just kind of brushed it off, but it would come back up, kind of brush it off, come back up, brush it off. And yesterday it really just kept like gnawing at me, and I'm like, okay, like I guess I need to like look at this. And at this time I had actually just finished crying like for about 30 minutes or maybe not 30 minutes, sorry, but like for a significant amount of time I was crying and just saying, Lord, I need you to come through, like now is the time. I need you, to make yourself known. Come on. And as I kind of started to calm down a little bit, that verse came to mind, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look up this verse because it just keeps gnawing at me. And it's Exodus 14, and I think it's 14:14 actually. But I started at 11, and I'm gonna read this here. So it says, where is it? 11. So this is the Israelites who just came out of Egypt, right? Just came out of captivity. They said to Moses, "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Didn't we say to you in Egypt, 'Leave us alone, let us serve the Egyptians'? If you would have, it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert." Moses answered the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance of the Lord. You will bring, Deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again." Verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. So I saw that, and then, tears are still kind of coming down, but then I saw that, and I'm like, was that a conviction? Because as I was like coming down from my crying fest, I was like, Lord, I just don't know how you want me to position myself. Do I just stay here? Do I do this? Do I take this job? Do I not take a job? Like, what do you want from me right now? Like, I have to have some action. And that verse came to mind, and then it just said that, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And I'm like, was that conviction, Lord? But here's where it gets really good. So remember, I just finished crying. Like, I'm pretty like heavy with emotions and everything, but I'm trying my best to get myself out of that headspace and just partner with the Lord and raise up my spirit. Oh my gosh. I was actually gonna record this while I was crying, but I didn't want to cry on here, so oh my gosh. So after that, I'm reminded of the song that kept coming up, kept being like, I could feel it like on my spirit, not like a song like when you have a song stuck in your head. Sorry. When you have a song stuck in your head and it's like really annoying. Well, this wasn't that. It was like it kept coming up, and I think about it a little bit and sing some lyrics from it, and then I just let it go. But I remember it like kept coming up the night prior. Like I couldn't really sleep, and it just was on my spirit. And so I'd sing it, but then like I'd let it go and whatever. And I didn't really know the whole song. I just know bits of it. And so as soon as I finished reading that verse, the be still, I was like, I don't know if that was my word. I don't know if that was conviction. I don't know. The song came back to mind. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to look up this song too, because it's been kind of on my spirit since Sunday. So I look up the song, and it's Great Defender. I don't know who it's by, but oh my gosh, it's a really good song. I definitely recommend listening to it. The lyrics are amazing. But the main lyrics, the main like theme of the song is that the Lord is our great defender. He will fight for us. He has fought for us. Whatever battle he has and will fight for us. All we have to do is be still. And when I tell you, when I heard those lyrics and I realized that he had been nudging me, trying to get me to listen to this song, trying to speak to me and have an encounter with me through that, I lost it. Like, I just previously had been crying, and then now I started crying, but with so much joy and so much like, oh my gosh, I don't expect anyone to get like a lot out of this, but like for me this was so special because I was genuinely like, I do not know how to position myself, and I don't, like, I was just breaking down, you know. And I just think about the fact that he already had an answer, just like in the song how it talks about he's already working things out, like he's already gone before you, whatever situation, whatever, if you're waiting for something, if there's a problem you're going through, whatever, healing, you know, a promise, a breakthrough, whatever, he's already worked it out. Like he's already, if he's giving you that promise, he's actually telling you the end of it. He's not telling you, you know, the right here, the right now. He's already saying, well, this is how it ends for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyways, I think about like if I had leaned into that, Lord Jesus, oh my gosh, if I had leaned into that, I would have, just like the song said, he already fought for me. I wouldn't even have went into that whole like crying hysterics because he already had the answer for me. Like, and so when the song came on, not only did I start to cry and realize like he had been nudging me this time. Oh my gosh. I felt his tangible presence. And if you've ever felt the presence of the Lord, you'll know what I'm talking about. I think in my last video I talked about how like when God talks, like when God tells me, at least when he tells people about like his love for someone, it's really, really weighty. It's really heavy. It actually kind of hurts a little bit. Well, it's the same thing with his presence, you know, for the same reason why people couldn't like look at him or they die or whatever back in the Old Testament. It's kind of the same thing. It's like that much love, that much peace, that much holiness is just unheard of, and it's too much. And every single time I've ever felt his presence, it's either stopped me in my tracks and I'm just like, okay, like this is what we're working with here, or I just like basically fall to the ground and start crying because it's too heavy. It's so heavy, but it is so beautiful. And I just felt this peace and this lightness, but an aggressive like lightness. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It was so much lightness that it actually like weighed me down in a sense. It was really weird. But I experienced so much of that that I just broke down, and it was like it was like all over again. I'm just breaking down, but then like for a very opposite reason. And I realized that like when you get to a certain place in the Lord, your pain and your praise will look very similar. You know, your pain should not be, well, do you even exist? Blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, obviously you hate me. He will still give you that peace that surpasses all understanding. And if you're doing it right and you truly do not want to stay in that dark place, you'll praise through it. And that's how it kind of started, because I was like upset, but I'm like, I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to read my word. I'm going to do what I need to do. And then your praise can create an atmosphere that he wants to come and visit you. And it's like, oh God, it's just, I don't have words for this. I know this probably doesn't mean very much to anyone, but it's just the best and the most crazy feeling ever. It doesn't necessarily feel good. It just feels like, wow, I encountered the Lord of the universe. I don't know what to do with myself now, and I've been like this whole day. And there was something else I wanted to, oh yeah. One key takeaway from this is that I have had some of the most crazy encounters through praise. That's most of the time when I've had my encounters, to be honest. And like the nudges that he was giving me, Jesus, had I continued to be prideful and not give in to them, I would have never had that encounter. So this just goes to show, just trying to wrap this up, that the voice of the Lord is very subtle, you know. He doesn't like impose on you, you know. He just, it'll be little things, and oftentimes a song, you know, a worship song or whatever, is him actually calling you to him, to spend a moment with him, and for you to have some sort of an encounter or revelation or whatever with him. And it's just, oh my gosh, it's the best thing in the world. And it's just so crazy to me that I had my answer ready and waiting, but I just, unfortunately, I didn't give in, and I don't know why I didn't, but I'm just so grateful. Okay, that's it. Bye.